That's a secret. A secret I cannot solve.
Well, let's start with, as I think it's a good place to start, since it's the film we'll be seeing tonight.
Cool.
1957, Seventh Seal. What was your connection to Bergman when he was already making films, but you were young, you'd done some theater? How did it come about that he cast you?
I had, at the time, worked in municipal theatres in Sweden. I had done 3 years at the Academy and at the Royal Dramatic Theatre in Stockholm, and worked in a southern municipal theatre in which Mr. Bergman was one of the leading directors. And he invited me to come and stay there for a season, and during that season I worked with him in 2 productions on the stage, and he had then written a screenplay which later on turned out to be The Seventh Seal, and he offered me a part. He said, how about, have you seen my play, Wood Painting? I said, yes, I've seen your play, The Wood Painting. It was a little play, not really a play, it was rather a group of people, characters, medieval characters, standing in line on the stage, giving each one their monologue, presenting themselves and their problems, etc. And, well, to be honest, I don't think it's a very good drama.
Did you tell him that?
No.
All right.
No, what he said, I've written a screenplay based on this, and there is a clown, and I would very much like to have you playing that. Would you like to do that? I said, of course. I said, and I see it, a clown like one of Picasso's blue clowns, if you know what I'm speaking about. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, wonderful. And of course I would like to do that. So I was happy. Then 2 weeks passed and we were working at the theatre, and then he came, I have changed my mind, I don't think you should do this clown. So, no, I want you to do the knight. And the knight. And that made me very disappointed, because I had seen the play, and in the play this knight couldn't speak, because he was just back from a crusade in the Holy Land, and somebody had cut off his tongue. And I was very disappointed, because it wasn't. I didn't then realize that it can be wonderful to play a mute person. That's something I've learned later. But anyway, yes, so there's no dialogue. Yes, I'm going to change this. There will be dialogue. It's so wonderful. So I was very happy. And then the film was shot in I think it was 56 actually. We shot the film.
Shot the film, released in 57.
I think it's more important when we do it than when we release it. So.
That was the first of 11 films you made with Bergman?
That was the first one?
Of 11 films you made with Bergman?
Yes.
How did your relationship with him change over those 11 years?
Well, I cannot tell. During those 11 years, well, it was not just 11
in a row, right?
Consecutive years. It was, I don't know how many years, many more years.
Yeah, not over 11 years, over 11 films in many years. You were no longer young and untested. By the end, you were...
I was much older. And during that time, we had worked together many times on the stage. I don't know how many productions he directed that I was in. But anyway, we had developed a wonderful working relationship. He was an extraordinary director, and I owe everything to him, I can say, because he whatever, work ethics, work discipline, everything, and no, I had the great fortune to work with so many wonderful directors, but of course, nobody so much as with Mr. Bergman. I cannot
considers Bergman the finest director who ever lived. Woody Allen you worked with, I mentioned some of the others, George Stevens,
Jan Troll.
then Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese. Are there things in those directors, in those American directors, that were in any way reminiscent to you of Bergman, or was American filmmaking in the 70s and 80s so far removed from Bergman stuff?
No, wonderful American directors. Wonderful. I just didn't work with them that much. But no, I've been very lucky. George Stevens, Sidney Pollack,
Jan Troll.
and of course Steven Spielberg, Scorsese.
I think Troll was the best director.
John Huston. No, I've been very, very lucky. They all are very inspiring, each in his way, and I'm very grateful to this country because it's because all this country has given me.
Let's talk about this country for a moment, and you coming over here in, 1961? Is that when you met with George? 62? Then you met with George Stevens, and he had the idea for you to, whatever, just play Jesus, not a big deal.
No, I had a wonderful. Well, he hadn't started working as my agent, but there was a wonderful Hollywood agent who wanted to sign me. And as at that time, there were no agents in Sweden, so I didn't have an agent. I said, I don't need an agent. And he came back, and then suddenly he told me that George Stevens wanted me to play the Jesus in The Greatest Story Ever Told. And I got terribly scared, and I said, no, I don't want to do that. Because, no, I don't think that's what I should do. But he came back, and I stuck with my position. I didn't want. And I told Bergman about this and said, well, you shouldn't do that. No, I think we should shoot a film about Christ. We could do that in Saturday. We don't have to go to the Holy Land to do it. We could do it here in Sweden. But he never did. But anyway, well, this is a long story. I'm not going to bore you with that. But finally,
they're not bored.
I accepted. Mr. Stevens invited me to come over here and see what he was doing and see that I had reason to take him seriously. And so I did. I came over for a week, and I was totally impressed. Of course, it was marvelous. And also another thing, he introduced to me Carl Sandburg, and he said he is participating in. We haven't finished the script yet. And Mr. Sandberg is working with us, and being Swedish and knowing that Mr. Sandberg was a Swedish immigrant, I was very taken by this and very moved. And visiting Mr. Stevens at his office, he called Mr. Sandberg to have a long conversation with Mr. Sandberg. And well, anyway, finally, I accepted to do it. And I don't regret it.
You've played in so many films where faith is such an enormous part of the movie, including the one that we're going to see tonight. It just happens again and again and again for you. Why do you think that is? Was that an important part of your life, or were you typecast a little bit, maybe as the guy who can play Jesus?
Well, that is the problem. When you have made an impression with something, in this case with Jesus, people, of course, many people think that he must be a very serious person. He must be very religious. And of course, he has worked with this Mr. Bergman, who, of course, also must be very religious. So, okay, we have a part here, a bishop. So why not ask Mr. von Sydow? So they keep asking me. And I don't know how many priests or clergymen I've been offered to play. And I have done a few, but not at all as many as I have turned down. I made a pope even. But anyway, for some reason, casting directors not always have very much imagination. But of course there are financial motives behind it. If somebody has made something successfully, they want this person to copy his what is that? Again, so more money can come in. But anyway.
There's no harm in that, believe me. So I don't want to steal the thunder at all from this tomorrow screening at 4 o'clock, I think, at the Chinese Theater of really one of my favorite 10 films of all time, 3 Days of the Condor. And I can't allow a moment to pass where I don't ask you at least one question about 3 Days of the Condor. You didn't, believe me, you did not play a religious figure in 3 Days of the Condor. You did not play a religious figure in 3 Days of the Condor. You were as far from that as possible. If you could just, so then I guess Sidney Pollack had some imagination to cast you following The Exorcist in a role so seemingly different than that.
Well, to begin with, he had some other kind of imagination because he didn't want me. He had other actors in mind, and there was somebody who came in and had this idea of asking me, but that was not Sidney Pollack.